What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the red color, playing as Hades. His name is Domantas. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Eric. The map is Gold Rush. This is game number 6. Or the Challengers League portion. The finals of the Challengers League. I was going to look up a certain stat and I forgot to do it. So we're going to slyly do that on the side here. So we've seen this matchup several times now. We've seen Eric being very aggressive early. Domantas is just saying, no worries, I'm just going to play a classical fight as well. Last game we saw a centaur attack from Eric, and it kind of went about as you'd expect. Both players kind of got to the late game with relative equality, and Domantas just could not quite work out how to find the solid advantage in that late game portion to survive and start doing all of the crazy Hades shenanigans. So what's going to happen in this game? We do have Gold Rush, and I am not going to be able to find this. Am I? The map is Gold Rush, and this is basically the big thing about this matchup now is that everything in this map that matters is gold mines. The gold mines are right in the center. Building a trade route is kind of pointless here because it's really, really weak. You can kind of trade from the back over here up to here and get like a 30 gold trade route, but it's really, really weak. So by all metrics, you really need to control the center of the map, which makes building placement and making sure you have map control here very, very important. So we'll see how it all ends up going here as the Domantas villagers coming over onto the boar. I would assume on a map like this, we'll see a fast town center. But I imagine Eric is just going to place his buildings in the center of the map and attempt to deny this. There is a world where if he just places two stables or stable barracks in the middle of the map, he's going to be able to deny both the town centers. There is that world that is possible. Okay, so we have found the information we've been searching for here, and there you go. Turns out the winner of Challengers League Season 2 was actually Ulysses, of all people. And Ulysses made the playoffs in Season 3 as well. So there is a bit of a lineage in Challengers League victors coming into Champions League and performing well in this tournament. So we'll see if the victor of this matchup here, we'll do the same in Champions League Season 4 or not, as Domantas' Katoskopos here getting pushed back. Villagers diving into the town center. We do see Athena coming through here for Domantas. The Ajax also coming in as well. Eric coming up much faster. Well, not much faster. Maybe one villager faster, one villager and a hero faster than Domantas does. So Eric can have a little bit less resources than Domantas does to play with, but he will be able to put some buildings down in the center of the map and get some early pressure. So we'll see what Domantas' plan is. Now, one thing we haven't seen here from Domantas just yet is simply trying to rush up the town center, especially on a map like Gold Rush. The idea of simply just advancing fast here and trying to put the town center up really quickly seems like it would be a nice way to play. As we do see the Minotaur pops out. Eric here, he's got a lot of villagers on wood, and it looks to me like he is just going to get his Odysseus out, and he is not going for that early game attack on this position. The Katoskopos is scouting around trying to find a military building, but he hasn't found anything. We see the Odysseus is out, and it looks to me like Eric is just going for a fast second town center, and Domantas is going to be more than happy to just grab a delayed second town center and just wait here. He's got the gold, he's got the wood. Katoskopos comes over onto this town center. The town center at the top is more than likely the town center which Eric is going to go for here. As we do see an archery range and a military academy coming in, but the delayed town center of Eric has managed to confuse Domantas a little bit here, but Domantas, he's already got the gold. He doesn't even need to start units. Yes, this is going to be delayed, but it's not the biggest of deals. He kind of needs to get the units out anyways to get the town center, and he'll have a little bit of army to put some pressure onto the main map here. We'll see how things are going to go, as well as the house coming up. Hoplite Toxotes are out on the way. Eric will have his town center. He's going to have some boars here. He's got a nice gold mine. One thing that I wouldn't mind seeing is we do see the walls coming up here. Is like buildings coming over here, walls coming up to connect the two, buildings coming over here, walls coming up to connect the two. And this is really important to keep your wood villages nice and safe. We are seeing that's exactly what Domantas has done here on this side and on the top side as well. I really like that play from Domantas. It makes his base very, very safe here. As the Katoskopos sees the town center coming up, and Eric, it almost looks like he's going for an immediate third town center here, which, considering there's units out already for Domantas, this might be a little bit too greedy. As the villagers come over here, we'll eat the boars. And do we see that happening? He's got the resources to drop it. Domantas here, his Katoskopos, 1 HP, as the heroes over here going to distract the army. And this is exactly what Eric needs to get that town center up over here. Oh, he's not going for it. He's going for buildings. Okay, never mind. Thought maybe a third town center here would be ridiculously strong for Eric at this point, because I mean Domantas is getting his own third town center, but he's distracted the army over here, and he doesn't need the units at this point to really defend. Yes, this hunt might get pushed off, but he's got the hunt over here, and he's got the cows in his main base, so he's got more than enough resources to pump villages, and he can build the units afterwards. But instead, retreating back, going to start his production here. And Domantas is going to start getting some value out of his units. Is he pumping units out yet again? Yep, Toxotes are still going to be coming through. Eric with lots of gold in the bank here to spend on Hippocon and the like. As the Odysseus here manages to snipe down the Minotaur. But takes a lot of damage there, and the Minotaur of Eric's does fall as well. As the units are now out for Eric, pushing underneath his town center here. Town center helping out. And it does look like Domantas needs to retreat back. Trying to snipe a villager here, but probably not going to snipe that one off as the bolt on the Chiron does end up coming down. I'm surprised Eric doesn't just bolt that Chiron straight away. The reason being is a Chiron takes, what is it? I think it's the same amount as an Odysseus. 17 seconds to train. So that's a villager kill. If you kill it straight away, Domantas wants to rebuild it, and there's going to be another villager behind and a bit. So it's a lot more damage than just the 200 wood. 1 favor. It ends up being 200 wood, 2 favor, and around about 17 seconds worth of villager gather time, which ends up being around about 17 resources. So is that right? Yeah, something like that. So it ends up being not crazy much of advantage, but every little bit matters, I guess. As Eric now searching around to snipe some villagers, but there's really not a whole lot to attack here. As, yeah, it looks like Eric just doesn't want to go into a 3 town center boom war, so he doesn't want to grab his own town center up here, is the general game plan. As we do see the nice micro there from Eric pulling Domantas' army away there. As the Toxotes coming in to try and snipe down the Ajax on this position. The hoplites getting pulled back. And Domantas does pull away here. As one boar does go down. Domantas jockeying around here as best as he can to keep his units alive. But Eric is not going to be allowing those to come back home. So we see a nice micro over here from Eric. He does take a little bit of damage as he needs to retreat back. The hoplites are slightly faster than those Toxotes, so they can catch up to them. But the army coming through. This looks like it might be a little bit of a difficult fight for Eric to take as Domantas comes back with his heroes over here. But Domantas, instead of taking the fight, decides to retreat away and and take a lot of damage here. This is really big for for Eric, getting a huge amount of advantage here. Domantas pulling back into his main base, trying to keep his units alive, but takes a lot of damage in the time being there to make it all work out. As Domantas here, he's got his units, and he's got his population slightly behind Eric. Eric with about a, what is that? A 9 villager advantage here. A solid advantage coming up, but he does need to keep getting those houses built up. It looks like he might be doing so. It should be completely fine. There we go. The houses are all going to come up, as Eric says. All right, no more housing crisis for me. As the units on the map, just ensuring that no town centers getting taken here. One way that you can do this, especially on your own town center, I see a lot of times players putting one unit over here and causing and doing that. Just move up and drop a military building, drop an armory, drop a house, drop literally anything on this town center, and you can, for free population, keep line of sight of it. And also you can immediately train units out to start preventing that from going up. It's a really, really nice way to play. Egyptian players can build a siege works. Norse players can build a longhouse. Greek players can build a military academy. Lots of options there. Atlantean players obviously can do the same. And instead of just leaving the unit, send a villager forward. There's the Hippocon. Just searching around. There's really nothing to raid here. And this is kind of the danger of playing in this style where you're grabbing town centers and you're just kind of trying to jockey around in the middle of the map. As both players walking forward, Eric does catch his army out. Going to try and snipe down that Ajax here and does manage to do so. As Domantas has got this... He does. He's got this problem with his army control of retreating and taking damage for no real great reason. As the Hoplites taking on these Hippocon as well. Eric's got the numbers over here, rightfully deciding to take this fight. As he gets a lot of nice kills there on Domantas' units. Eric is controlling his army really, really nicely thus far. As the Toxotes retreating back into the main base here. Eric going to be pulling back with his army, and we'll see how things end up going. As the Toxotes getting taken out, and Eric is nicely dealing with those there. So he needs to retreat back at this moment. He's going to lose a little bit of HP to the town center. The Toxotes are also in position to get a whole bunch of kills here. So he's getting caught out, taking a lot of damage. There's the town center now coming up for Eric. He's got the resources to go to the heroic age. And this seems to be a common trend here with Eric's decision making. He's grabbing the town center while going to the heroic age. He's while his resources hit that heroic age amount. I feel like if he gets the armory up, goes to heroic age, and then puts the town center, it makes a little bit more sense in my head. But it basically accomplishes the same thing. As long as you click up before the town center gets up and you spend all the population on units. But there's the Apollo coming in, there's the town center, and the villagers are going to start coming out yet again. One thing you can do as well in this position is you want to be going up to 80 population. You got all your units. Stop training army unless you're actually taking a fight. And ensure that your population gets to 80 population, dropping more military buildings and everything. Farms coming up here for Eric here to get as much stuff as he possibly can here in this game. As the armory coming down for Domantas. And for reasons of Eric getting the population advantage here in villager count, Eric manages a fairly substantial timing advantage here going to the heroic age here in this game. It's Aphrodite coming through for Domantas. Domantas yet again here. He's deciding to more often than not go for Aphrodite over going for Apollo in this matchup where, generally speaking, the only real solid advantage that Zeus generally has here is the underworld. But Domantas wants that Aphrodite to ensure that he can get center map control and potentially get a gold staff here against Eric. As both players here are just deciding to sit in their base instead of pushing forward onto these gold mines. Here's they got the army. I'm a bit surprised to see that gold getting grabbed. The second gold mine is kind of a bait, in my opinion. The first gold mine, obviously, you have to grab it because you don't really want to be having your villagers not be safe. But the second gold mine, if you got army out, man, just grab that middle gold. Don't mind the home gold mine. Leave that for a rainy day. As Domantas now pushing forward, he's just about to be able to click that that curse onto this army, getting a substantial amount of damage done, and grab this town center. Both players have still got their restoration, I believe, here in this game, as Domantas pushes forward. Already heavy Toxotes for Eric, but that just kind of equalizes things here. In fact, no, it doesn't. Looks like Domantas has got a couple of armory upgrades here as well, as Domantas decides, all right, heavy archers first and then fight. He wants to have all the advantages. Hephaestus now coming through for Eric here with a significant advantage, as Eric needs to now get himself the fortresses up and start moving into that, as there's the curse. The village is going to be coming onto the town center, and Eric just says, all right, time to retreat back, regroup, build my army back up, and make it all work out. As the fortress now coming up for Eric, army coming in to get a little bit of damage here. And Domantas has to just retreat back at this point. As the fortress is going to come up as well. And the next stage of the game, motors ahead. Eric still with the villager advantage, but I mean, Domantas getting the town center. The problem here for Domantas is he's fully popped, so he should be catching up on the villagers, but not going to be happening just yet. As the villagers getting taken out, we do see the Chiron getting chased away here, as the Toxotes getting some significant damage done over here into this location. The Odysseus going to be retreating away. And Eric still just trying to hold on in this position. He needs finish the fortress. Finish it. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, it's up. No problems. And now Domantas needs to retreat back. Hephaestus hits. Heliopolis can start out immediately, and the Plenivolt can start up. And he's probably going to get himself the Forge of Olympus first before the Heliopolis, but we see Domantas also doing the same. And Domantas decides for a different tact here in this game. Artemis, the god of choice. This changes things very, very severely here, because Artemis is going to be able to tear down the fortresses and tear down the Heliopolis production. Domantas is not going to need to build himself those Heliopoli, but he won't have the Colossus to deal with his enemy Heliopolis. So Eric needs to build fortresses on different positions here to play around this Artemis. But after 6 games now, Eric has almost been conditioned into expecting Hephaestus to come here from Domantas. But this is a different game, different map, different situation. And I think Domantas is rightfully saying here in this game that Earthquake is much more important here than the extra favor and the extra armory upgrades that come from those Toxotes. It's now the Hades Shade going down. Domantas here still trying to jockey forward. Both players, 80 population. The armory upgrades are going to start coming through here as well. And I'm interested to see, is Domantas, as the fight's coming, I want to see if Domantas is getting himself favor here at a big clip to make Chimera, or if he's just going to decide to go straight Heliopolis here. One fortress probably not enough to kind of make those just yet. As the Artemis is just about to hit, there's no upgrades here for the buildings for Eric. And there's only one villager on the favor for Domantas here in this game, as the Achilles, Chiron come through, taking the Colossus out. The Toxotes run forward. This Earthquake comes in. Restoration misses. He used the Restoration too late. Restoration can defend against the Earthquake. It can. So long as the fortress is not firing, the Earthquake can be defended, but you have to use it basically instantly because the damage comes out so fast. You basically have to use it instantly to defend. And obviously you can just sit there waiting until it clicks and then just click the restoration. But Eric, too slow on that one as the fortress gets deleted. And now no Heliopolis remain. There's one Heliopolis here, but the problem is that Domantas is going to be pumping units in. Eric is investing in armory upgrades, and he needs the fortress. He doesn't have it up. He's going to be pushed off of this gold mine here very, very shortly. you'd have to expect, as the Chimera comes around, special attack onto those Toxotes. As the Toxotes spread out, Restoration now coming in to try and keep that Chimera alive, staying away from that Odysseus. As the Heliopolis move forward, still no heroes out for Domantas. Domantas here at 160 population, trying to hit this timing. Eric does have decent armor upgrades. Domantas, on the other hand, full copper here. So it's not like there's an advantage, so to speak, here for Eric in terms of armor at this point. And with all this fighting coming in, the Hades Shades are going to be piling in to help bolster Domantas' army here as well. As the Toxotes pushing in. We do see the fortress is now up for Eric to start making his own Heliopolis out, and he does immediately start queuing those. The Manticore is helping out a ton in this fight as the Perseus is coming back in. That's going to be able to snipe the Manticore here as he's trying to move forward. We'll see if Eric retreats back. He's deciding against it as the Toxotes now targeting this one down. The easiest runaway is to jump into the Heliopolis to take the fire away from the Toxotes, and then you're actually good. As the Heliopolis retreating back. As Eric here is dropped down to very, very little population. We see some units coming up to the top side of the map there. I'm sure that Domantas is going to be putting some pressure over there. But at this point, it looks like the population and the resources of Eric are just so absurdly low. He's not able to trade well in these fights at all. Domantas also able to get himself bronze shields because he's trading so well. He's going to start having more and more resources. So it doesn't even matter that he doesn't have Forge of Olympus for the cheaper upgrades because he's just not having to spend resources, which Eric is having to spend here. As another fortress is going to come up to continue building those Heliopolis out. Now, we'll see if Eric can figure out a way to defend this, because, I mean, there's going to be... If I'm Domantas here, I'm thinking, how can I send more units over here to attack this? You don't have to send a whole lot, just a handful to push off the gold and keep killing off the villagers while you control this position. Taking down the fortress is going to be absolutely huge. Eric is full bronze. Domantas is basically full bronze in what matters here, which is pierce armor. Obviously not having... He doesn't need to get bronze armor here. Bronze mail here. But bronze weapons is obviously going to help, but he doesn't need it because he's Hades. So 11.2 damage. 9.1 damage versus 9.1 damage. So being down bronze weapons just equalizes in all metrics here. These Toxotes are literally exactly the same right now, except, I mean, Domantas' Toxotes is a little bit faster. As Domantas getting himself out some more heroes here. He's got the 3 fortresses up in the middle of the map. Hoplite's still getting damage done onto this position as the villagers turn around, shank those down. But every moment that those villagers are shanking means they're not mining gold, which is hurting Eric even more at this point. As Eric needs to retreat back. He's 130 or 145 population. Can't even get himself out fortified town centers here. As he is trying to basically stabilize here is the name of the game for Eric. If he can stabilize, he's going to be in a good spot. The big problem here is, look at the favor. 120 favor. Imagine if he had, like... I don't know, if he had a gold mine right now and he could just spam out Colossus, he'd easily be able to just mow through this army if he could just make, like, I don't know. Well, how many Colossus can you get from 125? 5 Colossus? If he just had 1,000 gold, 5 Colossus, 1,500 gold to spend at this moment, he'd be able to ram through this army really, really easily, but he just does not have the gold here at the moment to make that happen. As the Toxotes coming through, can start sniping down villages and things. Colossus tanking nicely, going to be able to take out the Heliopolis here. I'm sure that Domantas has got a Perseus queued up somewhere here. As the Toxotes getting attacking this town center over here, not going to be able to do all too much, but they have pushed off the gold mine, and now Eric has got 0 gold income, which is going to allow, even with Domantas having slightly worse... Why is he getting bronze mail? I don't understand. Well, I mean, bronze mail against the Toxotes, I get, but that doesn't matter. But Domantas here is pushed off the gold. He can now send a unit over here to drop a fortress on this position here and get full control of the map. full control of the gold. And what can Eric do after all is said and done? Now Domantas pushing in with those Heliopoli. Domantas should be trying to reposition the Heliopoli in front of the Toxotes, as we do see those Colossus coming back in there. A very, very big counter to the Colossus. Nice micro there from Eric to attack that Hephaestus, but that does allow the Toxotes to massacre, I probably should say, Eric's Toxotes nicely as one Heliopolis goes down, but now Hephaestus can come back in. He can start taking out the Silver Colossus that have now come through. Iron Shields coming in for Domantas as well. And Eric in that moment does have to tap out. Really well played from Domantas. He caught Eric by surprise with that Artemis really, really nicely. I think if Eric had managed to get that restoration off and kept his fortress alive, he probably would have been able to hold the large gold mine. But Eric couldn't get that restoration off in time. Fortress goes down. And Domantas levels the series 3-3. We will indeed have a game number 7. After all is said and done, ladies and gentlemen. Really, really well played from Domantas in game number 6 here. We'll see if we can continue with the momentum that he's managed to grab here moving into game number 7, or if Eric is going to be able to continue his success in this matchup that he's been finding in games previous with a more regular map. I can't remember exactly what the map is, but we'll have to wait and see. If you guys enjoyed this game, enjoying this tournament, enjoying tournaments in general in Age of Mythology, please consider to follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.